Hello and welcome back. If you follow the channel, you know that we recently got our sticky hands on a genuine Space Shuttle Teleprinter, thanks to generous collector Marcel. We kid you not, the shuttle had a 59 pounds Teleprinter on board during its first 10 years of operation, which itself was derived from a 100 pounds Navy teletype. So I guess, good job NASA for at least trying to make it lighter. In part 1, we explain how this apparent absurdity came to be, how it works, with a rotating drum and hammers controlled by an early microprocessor, and how NASA modified it with new electronics. In part 2, we disassembled it entirely to repair the mechanical issues, and to our surprise, it started to show signs of life when we put it back together. The printed wasn't legible though, but with extra squinting, Eric could decipher the last line it was trying to print. It said, "System initialized." That's a mighty good omen. It's trying to work. Okay, and now it said system initialized. Right, and we looked at it, and what I think is happening is that we are not aligned left to right and are missing the column or getting, and then you have to line it left to right and up and down. I think on the left right we are misaligned half a character to the right. Like I have half of the T over here. And then Ken was able to decipher what it's supposedly trying to write there.
So I think it's an alphabet pangram, so a sentence with all the letters, and it's like the lazy yellow dog, something something, red fox, sleeping. And the confusing part is instead of blanks, they have a diamond-shaped lozenge in between the words.
And then when I took this thing apart, there's a sensor for the position of the drum, and that is probably not placed back to where it should be. So we're probably globally left and right, and globally up and down we're off. Since we had to take the Teleprinter entirely apart in the previous episode, the hammers and the drum are likely out of alignment. There are 3 critical alignments needed. First is the distance from the hammer to the drum, which we adjusted using a specially machined spacer that nudges between the drum and the control surface on the hammer cassette. But we also need to align the hammers horizontally to match the columns on the drum. Finally, the timing of the hammers with the drum rotation is achieved 2 ways. One global adjustment with a rotation sensor on the drum, and an individual adjustment for each hammer. Let's start with the left-right hammer adjustment. There we go. Yeah, okay, it's moving. It's really hard because you have to do both the left, right, and the front, back at the same time. The hammer is barely wider than the letter, it's almost the same width. And I think I am hitting the E correctly. And then I have on the side, that's the other one I think I need to adjust. This sensor here has a screw over here on the slot on the side.
Soon after.
You ready, Ken?
Yeah.
Okay. Ken has put a safety
Yeah, I'm
squid.
just a little nervous with the spinning drum.
Actually, that's true. That drum is spinning like crazy and we don't have the shield.
And there's little bits of corrosion.
Yeah, so safety
on.
last. That didn't help. This is worse. No, go back up. Push the paper. No, not that. A paper feed. Okay, we have system initialize improper switch. Okay, this is much better.
We have a new message.
We have readable stuff. I think it's readable. If my thing would focus, it would work on manual focus again. I don't really know. So it says system initialize improper switch setting.
That's a weird message. We didn't get that last time, did we? Last time we had system initialized ready.
Okay.
So it looks like we have a switch setting.
Okay. Well, we can read something. So let's try the self-test mode. See what happens. Okay. Let's have here. Let's have here. Now I see a line of E's. System, something failed. One more. Fail. Okay, it's better for sure.
Well, print is better, but the operation seems worse. You're getting error messages.
We have to turn it off and on again. That's when it gets stuck. Okay, try it again. Okay, let me see here. Oh, you know what? Our ribbon is not moving. Aha. Okay, we have a ribbon problem. I think I know what it is.
You want it off?
No. There we go. Yeah, let's turn it off again and on again, and it should be better now.
On?
Yeah. Okay. What do we read? E. So that's our bunch of E's that we have to adjust the hammers for.
Oh, wait, there we go. That looks pretty readable.
Oh, we're ready? Okay, wait.
Yeah, it printed the lazy yellow dog.
Oh, I did?
Yep. I mean, it's... The first ones are pretty readable, then it kind of just falls apart in the middle here.
Yeah, it's ribbon. This is ready. Okay, so progress.
Moments later.
Okay, I did a little bit more readjustments, and now it says A1, A3 failed. Improper switch. Setting system initialize. Maybe it's just not plugged in right, because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But it makes sense. Processor is working.
Yeah.
So my next move is going to get this thing aligned, which is the sensor for the drum position, and there's obviously an adjustment for it. So after a little bit of adjustment, it seems to be better. It looks like we have all of our letters.
The lazy yellow dog was caught by the
slow red fox.
As it was lying in the sun.
Something like that. It's much.
Sleeping in the sun.
It's much better. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better. I don't think the ribbon is correct for this. It doesn't like the ribbon from Staples. But it's readable. Alright, we seem to be inching our way up, but all we've printed so far was through the self-test button. Let's try to send it some characters. In episode 1 we had seen how NASA used a fairly high-pitched audio frequency encoding. This is somewhat ear-grating, but fine on my well-balanced headphone mixing setup. But I'm not responsible for those with the treble button pushed all the way up, so fair warning for those with sensitive ears or aggressive audio settings. So we're going to try to get some signal. Okay, I'm sending something.
Okay, this went to sleep.
Okay. It's not doing anything. We might have to probe and see if it's seeing the signal at all. I think we're done for today.
2 days later.
So we have the full crew here. Mike, I can't see you for some reason. There you go.
Using Eric for
So we are going to, and of course, Marcel, the proud owner of the Teleprinter. And we're trying to debug it, see why it's not receiving stuff. And at least it's seems to be receiving our digital signal, so we got the frequencies right.
Yeah, it's doing all the demodulation, and we think there's probably a control signal that's blocking it from getting any further than this.
Or we got the wrong polarity or something else. You're instrumenting the thing?
That's right. Connecting to some test points to see if we're getting the signals that we expect.
Nothing going through?
Yeah, that does not look quite right. So I'm looking at the output after all the qualification, and I'm looking at the qualifying signals, but I need to check the schematic to see if that's right. Yeah, so that's the one. So our signal comes in here, gets thresholded, and then it goes through this logic that qualifies it with these two signals. So that's what we're looking at on the scope.
Have you looked at there yet? I'm nervous whether I have the right kind of signal in there.
I'll have to do that next, I think.
I didn't catch it on camera, but Eric found that the signal didn't make it out of one of the comparators, so he suspects we just don't have enough input signal.
And comparator here, which was feeding the signals here on the output. So go up to 1 volt peak to peak, and it should start printing again.
Okay, so you say LTD is to go?
Yeah, see, there's our comparator now.
Okay.
So comparator's triggering.
So not enough amplitude?
So there's still something wrong with the signal that we're sending, but at least it's kind of something out.
Yeah, you have to help it out a little bit. And so it takes a long time. Does it only print when it has?
Yeah, it might be buffering and looking for
a
character. Hard to say.
So could be that I'm indeed the wrong polarity or the wrong baud rate. Yeah. The usual serial thing.
Yeah.
Also, do we have the parity correct? Parity even parity. Except
that doesn't look right.
Hold on, I'm not transmitting anything yet.
Yeah, and we shouldn't be receiving that. That's definitely not right.
Okay, that got it to move.
Yeah.
Oh, it's working. You have success.
Oh,
look at that! It just worked.
That was easy. Oh, I poked myself in the eye with the safety glasses.
Does it say subscribe to CuriousMarc channel?
Oh, we should do that.
Yeah. That's it. I get to get the paper thing to work.
What happened there? So so it's saying subscriber to CuriousMarc's channel. So it has a space here and then it has logins there. So something's not totally right.
Okay, let me refine this a little bit.
Moments later.
So we gave it new paper, more amplitude. It seems to like it a lot better. Ah, it's doing fine.
More voltage fixed it.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Nice.
It looks like it even wakes up when it receives signal. So right now it went to sleep, and if I turn the modulation on, it woke up. And here we go. It's all back together, and we're going to try the ground transmission experiment. I have a text file related to the shuttle. and I'm going to send it via the computer, which wakes it up. Printing something. Here it comes. That's it. And it spits out the end of the buffer and brings the rest out. So usually it would be wrapped up over here, and then you go like that, and then you cut it. And here are your workday instructions. Have a nice day in space. It's worth explaining how this was shoved in the Space Shuttle as an afterthought. So I'm going to read directly from Ken's excellent blog article where he explains the Space Shuttle Teleprinter in much more detail. Link in the doodly-doo, of course. Ken writes, "The teleprinter was too large to be mounted on the flight deck, so it was mounted in a storage locker in the mid-deck, one level lower. The photo shows the location of the locker that held the teleprinter at the back right side of the habitable part of the shuttle. Putting the teleprinter in the locker made cabling difficult. The solution was a panel on the locker door with connectors for power and audio. The panel has a power switch and light, as well as a light to indicate that a message has been received. This photo shows the teleprinter locker with a connection panel, all the way on the very far left. Note the cables attached to the connectors. These cables went across the back of the shuttle to the left side, where they went up to the flight deck. The cable routing was performed before launch. Note that for this flight, the neighboring locker held 3,300 honeybees for a student experiment. The teleprinter cables connect to the shuttle at panel A15 on the aft bulkhead of the flight deck. If you sat in the shuttle commander's seat in the cockpit and turned around, this is what you'd see. The audio cable from the teleprinter went to the payload specialist communication connection on panel A15, while the power cable went to the DC power connection right below. During launch, this audio connection was needed for crew communication, so the teleprinter was plugged in after launch and the audio settings were reconfigured on panel L9. A cue card was placed above panel L9 with instructions on the teleprinter. It sure wasn't easy to get your printout in the shuttle. So normally you would sit like this with the paper tied to the bar. And off we go. Wakes up, and then you see absolutely nothing. Go, we're done. Paper feed. You cut it. I guess you wants to take it from you. There you go. And then you have your daily instructions, except my ribbon needs reversing, I think. here you have it, Teleprinter in the shuttle. What an aberration. And goes to sleep. Good night.